Our movie starts with a guy named Bryce, who is the owner of an escape room project. It is an adventure in a room with people in it, and they try to look for clues to use to escape from the room. The atmosphere is terrifying and exciting for entertainment, but Bryce's life is not going well for him. He has a lot of debts, and his wife is filing a divorce case against him. Bryce wants to come up with any new idea in the escape room to attract more people and thus make more money from it. Halloween is coming, and Bryce wants to take advantage of the occasion for young people to go to his escape room. So he goes down and looks for something or an idea that is new and different. He arrives at an antiques and antiquities shop and asks the owner about a box that caught his interest. He finds it there, but she tells him that this box is not for sale and is not available for testing or opening, and it is not a decorative piece. She says that this box has a dark past and history, and the Equals prefers the words of the shop owner to attract Bryce's attention more and more. So she says that this box is called the Skull Box, and it is cursed, and rumors say that it contains a demon, so she keeps it with her so that it does not open, and takes care of it so that it does not increase. And her phone cuts off her conversation with Bryce, and she goes to answer the call, and comes back after the call ends, and finds that the box has disappeared, and WhatsApp has money in its place. So she gives him his cheek and says, "Remember that I warned you. And there is a young man named Jeff who works as a horror movie critic, and is famous, and has a lot of followers, and takes his girlfriend Angie at night to the escape room, and his friend Ben calls him to confirm the time of the escape room adventure at night. And Ben is with his girlfriend Giselle there as well, and the time that the four of them agreed on comes, and they go to the escape room, and there in the office he meets Bryce and greets them, and tells Jeff that he is very impressed with his work and criticism, and Bryce takes the four of them to the escape room. Bryce explains the rules of the escape room, and that they have 55 minutes to find the keys to get out of it. The room has a lot of puzzles that they must solve to find the keys. And that everything in the room is important in solving the puzzles. He also tells them that the room is isolated and that mobile phones, the internet, or any form of communication with the outside is prohibited. The walls of the room are soundproof and no one will hear screams. He creates a terrifying atmosphere for them to feel the suspense. The four of them enter the room, and it is locked behind them. Bryce goes to his office to see and follow what is happening with them in the room through the surveillance camera in it. He asks his assistant Molly to bring him coffee. In the room, the countdown to 55 minutes begins, and the four of them begin to solve the puzzles to find the keys. Bella finds Jeff, who has stored a 3-point lock on her. Numbers, but suddenly they hear the sound of iron chains moving in the dark, and they write that Jonathan, who is an employee of Price, is in the room to perform a mystery show for the visitors. Jonathan is wearing a cloth bag over his face and hiding it to be scary. Then Jeff notices a box with a skull on it in the room. He examines it and does not find anything inside it. He is surprised by the reason for its presence, but Jason notices something coming out of the bug and his facial features change. Bella tells Jeff that the lock of the safe has 3 colors, red, green, and blue. Angie notices a rope on the ceiling and pulls it, and a corpse falls from the ceiling, a decoration of the atmosphere of horror that Price has created. Bella finds Jeff 2 coins under a cup. Bella is between a nightstand and in a drawer that has no handle, and it is missing. He thinks that inside this drawer are the keys that will come out, but they must find the handle first to know. They open it, and Pitbull has been there for 47 minutes, and they still haven't found the keys, and the feed from the camera that Price is watching is cut off, and he can't see what's happening in the room, and the room suddenly turns cold, and Bella notices that Jonathan is tied up with chains, and they get longer with time, and that Jonathan is supposed to kill the 4 of them when time runs out as a representation of the room, and Bella is unlucky after that, while Jeff is looking for evidence that there is a bookcase in the room, and it has books of different colors on the lock. So he tries to write the number of books of each color on the lock, and it finally opens. And he finds a key inside the safe, but it isn't the key to the exit door, and Bella finds a locked bag in the room. So he takes out the key they found for this bag and opens it, and they find in it a pair of large scissors that they don't know what their use is. And Jeff notices a box next to Jonathan and goes to open it with the scissors, and inside it, he finds the missing handle of the nightstand. So Bay buries it. Jeff greets his friends and is happy for his right thinking. Jeff returns the greeting and turns his back to Joan, but suddenly, something terrifying happens. Jonathan grabs the big scissors and pulls Jeff from his back. Jeff falls to the ground, and Jonathan continues stabbing Jeff in the stomach until he dies. Ben tries to stop Jonathan, but Jonathan hurts them with the scissors he has in his hand, causing him a big wound. The three of them are terrified and keep screaming. He bangs on the door for Bryce to open it, but the room is soundproof and the camera's broadcast is cut off. Bella also realizes that Jonathan created the camera with wires. They have 33 minutes left, and they don't know what to do because as soon as the time runs out, Johnson will have reached them and will kill him. Bryce doesn't know what to do because he can't see what's happening in the room, so Molly tells him to open the room and end the show, but he doesn't agree and stays. He is afraid that Jeff will criticize the place, and that if he writes a bad thing about the room, the place will be locked and no one will come again. So he decides to leave them until they go out alone, so they can enjoy the experience. Angie is in a state of panic and terror because her lover Jeff died in front of her eyes. But Ben calms her down and goes to get her phone from her bag, but he notices that there is no network and his hand is bleeding profusely because of the wound Jonathan made him. So Jess cuts her clothes and bandages Ben's wound. So Ben tells them that they have to complete the puzzles and that they do not depend on anyone to come and save them. He takes the handle and opens the nightstand with it, and inside it is a small box that needs 4 coins to open. So he and Jess have to look for the 2 missing coins so that they only have 2 out of 4. And Jonathan is able to make Angie see hallucinations, one of which is that Jeff did not die. So she loves him, but Jonathan grabs the scissors and pierces Angie's skull, causing her to die. Ben and Jess quickly grab the coins before Jonathan and Bella kill them. They find 2 of them behind a board on the wall, but the other 2 were with Jeff. Fablia brought them. Jonathan took them and told Ben that he had the 2 coins. Bella was unlucky. Ben saw a fire alarm on the ceiling, so he had an idea and asked Jess to take the lighter from his pocket and light the alarm so it would ring and help would come. The problem is that the alarm is behind Jonathan. Ben decided to distract Jonathan and buy Jess time to do what he told her to do, but the attempt fails. Ben doesn't know how to control Jonathan, and there are 20 minutes left. They don't know what to do. Molly is with Bryce in his office and tells him that he has to stop the show. Bryce decided to watch the last recordings on the camera before Bella and Ben separate that Jeff opened the skull box and then Jonathan turned off the camera without Bryce asking him to do so. So he concluded that the demon possessed Jonathan and turns Bryce, and they play the bait role for Jonathan to take the 2 coins from him, even if it would be his life in return. So Jess is upset, but tells her that he has to do this because he loves her, and they hug, and Ben goes to Jonathan and takes a broken glass plate on the ground, and is different because of the demon that possessed him. So Jonathan takes the plate from his eye and chooses Ben and Bryce and throws it hard and sings to Ben, and she makes noise and tires out the body of the one she sees. But Jonathan decides to throw them the 2 coins in an attempt to ask himself about the victim. So Jason takes the 4 coins in the box and opens it and finds an iron file for another box and takes out a toy from it, and in her hand is a paper written on it in pencil, but she does not know what this means and what. He needs this paper anyway, and Bryce enters the room on Jess to end the show. Then he is surprised by the 3 bodies on the floor, Then Jonathan goes out of the room and drops the keys and takes Johnson, and the door closes by itself. Then Bryce asks Molly to call the police immediately, so she must survive and solve the mystery. So she finds the room and erases the writing in pencil on the paper, and directional signs appear to her. Then she realizes that this is the key to exit, and she tries to reach the exit door and enters the signs into the door control panel. But Johnson stops her from a distance, and the demon enters her brain and smiles and kisses her. So she gives it, "This is not real," and she gets out in the last second of the remaining time from the door, and while she's getting out, Jonathan applauds her as if he congratulates her for passing the test. Then the police arrive and shoot Johnson because he did not respond to them and did not surrender himself, and he dies, and the demon comes out of him and is ashamed of Bryce. Then he decides Bryce is walking around town for no reason, and Molly notices, and she has no explanation for Bryce's strange behavior, and Molly takes a box the next day and goes to return it to the store where Bryce took the box from, but the store owner tells her that the devil is out of the box, and it's too late. And when the devil sees someone, he comes back to him again, and it might take a day, or a month, or even 50 years, but for sure in the end he will come to her, and he will come to everyone he saw to get rid of them. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Movie Story for more amazing movie recaps. Let us know in the comments which movie you'd like us to cover next. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.